Hello everyone, this is Andrew from Crown Academy of English. Today's lesson is a vocabulary lesson and we're going to look at the word hold. So here is the spelling H-O-L-D and here is the pronunciation hold. In this lesson you will learn 6 uses of hold as a verb with the meaning, and 1 use of hold as a noun. You will also learn 3 useful expressions with the word hold. So let's start. Let's look at the form of hold as a verb. So the present simple is I hold, you hold, he, she or it holds with an S at the end. We hold, you hold, they hold. The past simple is irregular. It is held, H-E-L-D. And the past participle is also held. So this is wrong, okay? Holded is not right. This is a mistake. So never use this. Okay, that's a mistake. Let's now look at the 6 different meanings of hold as a verb. Number 1, to take and carry something in your hand or arms. So this is the most common use and meaning. Mark is holding a cup of coffee. So Mark is holding a cup of coffee. Here it is. So he's carrying something in his hand. The man is holding a phone. The man is holding a phone. Okay? So this meaning is very easy. Let's look at meaning 2. To support something. And here I mean to physically support something. Okay? So here is a good example. Here is a broken chair. That chair won't hold my weight. That chair won't hold my weight. So the chair will not support my weight. Will not physically support my weight. If I sit on this chair, it will collapse. It will break. Okay? And another example, the furniture is held together with screws. Is held together with screws. So this is in fact a passive. This is the passive voice. And it's the present. So we use the past participle of hold. And remember from the beginning of this lesson, the past participle is held. Okay, so if something is held together, it is attached. It's attached together, so it's attached with screws. Okay, so physically supported. Number 3, very useful, to contain something or to be able to contain something. So here we're talking about capacity, the ability to contain something. The box holds 10 eggs. The box holds 10 eggs. Okay, so the box contains 10 eggs and also the box is able to contain 10 eggs. Okay, so for example, even if the box is empty, we can still say the box holds 10 eggs. Okay, it's the ability to contain something. The USB key holds 4 gigabytes of data. Holds 4 gigabytes of data. You can see it's actually written on the side of the USB key. So this is a USB key, and we say that its capacity is 4 gigabytes. So therefore it holds 4 gigabytes of data. Number 4. So we're now talking about jobs or positions in a company. To have a position in a company, or to control something. So let's look at this example first. So this is Mr. Smith. Mr. Smith holds the position of sales director. Okay, so he has the position of sales director. His job is the sales director. His position in the company is the sales director. Okay, so in English we talk about we hold a position. Okay. Mrs. Jones holds 5% of the shares in the company. Mrs. Jones holds 5% of the shares in the company. And this meaning is control. Okay, so she controls 5% of the company. Okay. This is another way of saying owns. She owns 5% of the shares in the company. Okay. So Mrs. Jones is an investor. Okay. Or she's one of the company owners. Okay. Or a shareholder. She's a shareholder in the company. Okay. So she controls part of the company. 5%. Okay. So these are useful meanings of the word hold in the context of a company. Number 5. To have a position in a competition or a sports event. So a very common example. He currently holds first position in the race. Okay, he currently holds first position in the race. Okay, very easy, simple explanation now. And here's another very good example. I'm sure you recognize him. Usain Bolt, very, very good athlete, one of the best athletes. And Usain Bolt holds 3 world records. Okay, holds 3 world records. Okay. Number 6. This is the last meaning of hold as a verb. And it means to have a meeting or election. Or to organize a meeting or election. So the manager, here is the manager. The manager is holding a meeting. Okay, so the manager is having a meeting. He has organized a meeting, we can say. We can also say this for a department. The sales department is holding a meeting. Or even the company is holding a meeting. Okay? So it's a meeting that is happening or occurring. Okay? And it's the same use for an election. So the American presidential election will be held in November 2020. Will be held. And again, this is a passive. It's a future. It's the passive in the future. Will be held. And again, this is the past participle of hold, which is held. Okay. So why is this in the future? Well, because today, when I am making this video, we are in June 2020. Okay. If you're watching this video after November 2020, then we would say the American presidential election was held in November 2020. Okay, was held. And again, that would be the passive but it would be the past passive, past simple. Okay, so will be held. So this is a future passive. Will be organized. Okay, will happen, will occur in November 2020. Okay, so we use hold for the organization of a meeting or election. Hold as a noun. So this is the act of holding something or someone. Don't lose the passport. Keep hold of it. Keep hold of it. Okay, so keep hold of the passport. Okay, so here we are using hold as a noun. Okay, so it's the meaning, it's related to the meaning of carrying something in your hands. Okay, so we say this when it's important not to lose something. Keep hold of the keys. Here is a telephone. Keep hold of it. Okay, here is my wallet. Please keep hold of it. Okay, don't lose it. And another example. Take hold of this glass and don't drop it. Take hold of this glass and don't drop it. So we say take hold of something when we give something to someone else. Okay, so take hold of it. Here is a phone. Take hold of the phone and don't drop it. Okay, and again here hold is being used as a noun. Okay, now let's look at the three expressions. Number one, hold your nose. This means to close your nose by pressing together your finger and thumb. And it's much simpler if I show you a photograph. Okay, so this is the action of holding your nose. He is holding his nose because there is a bad smell. He's holding his nose because there is a bad smell. So he's closing his nose because he doesn't want to smell the bad smell. Notice that we say he is holding his nose because it's a boy. For a girl, we would write she is holding her nose because there is a bad smell. Okay. Expression 2. To hold hands. So this is when a person places one of their hands in the hand of someone else. And again, this is much simpler if I show you a photograph. Okay. Mark and Jane are holding hands. They are holding hands. Okay. And finally, the last expression is very common. To hold, and the context here is during a phone call. Okay, so we say hold during a phone call. And it means to wait for someone to be available to talk to you. So let me give you a very, very common situation. So Mark is calling a company, okay, and Mark would like to speak to Mr. Smith. So Mark says, "Good morning, can I speak to Mr. Smith, please?" And here is the secretary who answers the phone. So the secretary says, "Mr. Smith is on the other line. Would you like to hold?" So Mr. Smith is on the other line. This means that Mr. Smith is already speaking on the phone with the other telephone line. So he's speaking with someone on the phone. And the secretary is asking Mark, "Would you like to hold?" So this means, Mark, would you like to wait for Mr. Smith to be available to talk to you? Okay, would you like to wait for a few minutes until Mr. Smith is available. And Mark, if you are Mark, you can reply, yes, please, I will hold for a few minutes. I will hold for 2 minutes, for example. Okay, the duration. So very, very common in the context of a phone call. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're preparing for the IELTS exam, then click here for information about our IELTS online course. And here are some other videos that I recommend.